pain, man. Like, it just hurts.
I'm getting nothing over here.
Really? Nothing?
Yeah, not much.
I'm giving everything I got.
Well, did you do your recovery work?
I didn't do my recovery work.
Oh, come on, man. We know it's not going to work. You know that's like...
But I took a whole week off. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. So you did nothing, so it got no blood. That's...
Fuck.
You know how this works.
So what should I be doing?
Well, I have to do recovery work.
All right. What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are here with another video. Today, we are going to be talking about how to recover. Because obviously you don't want what just happened to Alex, where you put in a bunch of work at practice, and then you get busy during the week, and you're like, it's okay, I'm just going to rest, and I'm going to be good for practice next week. Then you get to practice next week, you didn't do any recovery work, and you're still sore as fuck, and you don't know why, and then you can't get a good workout in that week, and not only can you not get a good workout in, but your training partner also is like, what the fuck, man, my weights were too light this week, you were too weak. So recovery work is really important, and in our experience, rest is great, but if you don't start your rest period with some sort of recovery work in order to get blood into the area, you're not going to get the kind of recovery that you actually want. So blood flow and just sort of repetitive movement is what we found to be the best way to recover from arm wrestling.
Yeah, and the best way to get blood flow into a joint without like causing more damage is keeping the weight super light, keeping the movements nice and small, and then also, on top of that, doing the movements that are opposite to arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So in arm wrestling, the main fundamentals that we're using a ton of is wrist flexion, internal rotation, and elbow flexion, right? So when we're recovering, we want to do the opposite of those movements. We're still going to get blood into the same joints, but we're not going to use the same musculature
or the same connective tissue.
So it's going to feel a lot nicer on your joints.
Yeah, and it's just not going to strain the connective tissue. If you think about it like a rubber band being stretched out, right? So you stretch it out all during practice, and then you need to give it time to sort of recover and come back, like regain its tightness back. Every time you add a little bit of tension to it, even if it's not that much, you're putting it, like you're not allowing it its time to continue to heal. You know, like every time that you open it, like the parts that have healed are just tearing a little bit more again, and then trying to heal, and then tearing a little bit more, so they're never actually fully healing. So like Alex said, by doing the opposite action, you're able to get tons of blood into that area, but put that connective tissue through basically zero stress.
Yeah, so the exercises that we're talking about, so if, you know, because we do a lot of cupping, we need to do the opposite of that movement. So that's going to be wrist flexion. Anytime you're bending your wrist back. Extension. So we're working the muscles on the forearm here, which are also important for arm wrestling, but you won't use them too much. They're more of a stabilizer, but there should never be overworked when you're actually arm wrestling, so it'll feel nice to use it for blood flow work afterwards.
And then moving up the arm, like we said, so a lot of flexion in the wrist, a lot of flexion in the elbow. So the same way you're going to extend your wrist, you're going to extend your elbow. And then finally the shoulder, a lot of internal rotation in the shoulder, so we're going to do some external rotation. There's a bunch of different exercises that we're going to show you, but one that you can just do on the table that we like to do at the end of practice, or if it is a week where you didn't get to recover enough and you're basically going to be spending a practice doing like active recovery, it's something you can do a lot during that practice. You can even do it throughout the week leading up to practice if you had somebody that you could do it with, or some way to sort of simulate it in the gym. But basically, it's reverse arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? So arm wrestling pads are set up right-handed, and if we were to wrestle right-handed, we'd be palm to palm this way. But since we're going to reverse arm wrestle, we're going to come around, we're going to go back of the hand to the back of the hand. And you can just start by literally just external rotation. So it's basically just in the shoulder. Like if I move my hand away, Alex is gonna, like he's pushing that direction, and I'm doing the same thing, and now we're hand to hand, so we're pushing into each other. So you can just hold this position here. At the end of practice, this is gonna feel great in your elbow, because again, you're gonna get a ton of blood into this part of your arm, but you're putting zero tension through the ligament that you've just been hammering on for, you know, an hour-long practice.
Right, and it's a good point that you don't actually have to be dynamic to get blood flow into the joint. So what we're doing is an isometric.
So it's just steady pressure.
You could do the same thing for tricep work, so the elbow extension and also the wrist extension work, and still get a similar benefit.
You can even do all that in this position here. So if we slide our hands back a little bit and go like knuckle to knuckle, we can be pushing. So now we're using some of our wrist extension along with our external rotation.
Yep.
And then on top of that, you can even, like if I push towards you and you push towards me, there's a little bit of elbow in there now as well. So now I've got elbow extension, wrist extension, and external rotation all happening at the same time. As we're in this position, you can start to feel some blood getting to your shoulder, some blood in your elbow, blood down the back of your arm, into your wrist, and by the end of holding this position for a couple minutes, you're going to feel a good little pump in your arm. You let it kind of loosen out. You switch sides, switch pads, do the other side, and that on its own could be enough to sort of actively recover from an arm wrestling workout.
Yeah.
But working those 3 angles: wrist extension, elbow extension, and external rotation. There's 1,000 different exercises for those.
So we'll obviously show you a few on the screen. And we typically like to do this a day after practice. So getting the blood flow into the joints right after, and then taking a rest day after that to fully allow our joints to recover before we can start our training week before the next arm wrestling practice.
And in all our experience, and I know I've played with it, flipping it around a number of times, if I take that rest day first and then recover, by the time I get to practice, recovery is completely different than if I did my recovery day first and then my rest day. So this action of getting blood into the area as soon as possible after you've destroyed it is what we've found to be the most effective way to speed up the recovery process. And now this recovery process isn't just between practices. This is also what you're going to do when you're peaking for a meet, which is where I'm at right now, getting ready for the Be Strong arm wrestling event. It's going to be super matches. The main event is Matt Mask versus
Jordan Sonev.
I can't pronounce those kind of names, but Jordan Sonev and Matt Mask is going to be an awesome match. And then Jordan's also pulling Mike Gould on left arm, which is going to be another epic match. And I've got a match right-handed with the monstrous Wagyu Beef, who is a new sort of up-and-comer to arm wrestling here. He kind of...
if you see this picture right here, he doesn't look new. He looks fucking huge.
The man is massive. He's over 400 pounds. He's got a 20-inch forearm, 23-inch bicep.
He lives up to his name.
Yeah, he's a monster. And he actually came in 3rd at the Ottawa Open this year, which was a stacked class, just beating me for that 3rd and 4th place. So beat me in the tournament. Definitely want to prove that I've got the experience over him and try to show up at the super match. It's definitely going to be a situation where I need to out arm wrestle him 100%. It's a test for me. I'm not going in there trying to be stronger than him. I need to go in and prove that all this shit that we talk about on the table and understanding the hill and the setup and all that stuff, that I do actually get that shit and I can apply it to the table, because if it were just to come down to slow pull strength for strength, he's definitely stronger than me.
And so going back to our recovery work, right? So in the week of leading up to the competition, you're doing a lot of this stuff to help with recovery, so you can maximize your readiness for the day.
Exactly. So basically, the way we've done a lot of talking about peaking and stuff, but just to go through it, just to clarified exactly what Alex is saying. I'm at 10 days out right now as we're shooting this video. So this week, on Monday and today, I'll do my 2 heaviest workouts as far as just weights going. I'm already finished pulling. My hardest table time session was 10 days ago from now. So about 3 weeks out from the competition was my heaviest table time day. I'll do some heavy lifting right now, but basically when I'm not doing that lifting on Monday and today, I'm doing this kind of recovery work in between, and then moving towards the event will be tons of recovery work with very light active angles as well. So as I'm getting ready for the meet, like Alex said, I want to keep readiness there. So I'm going to do a lot of the opposite angles, but I'm also going to do some of the active angles that I want, but I'm going to do them at a very, very, very light tension. And I'm going to do nothing for about 3 days before the event. So recovery, whether it's for practice or for an event, you're going to handle it the same way. It's all about blood flow and making sure that you don't overstress the area.
If you love arm wrestling, you'll do your recovery work because it'll allow you to arm wrestle more the next time you hop on the table. So it's very important. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think.
And if you love arm wrestling, you'll also support arm wrestling. Yes. So this event will be on a pay-per-view. Umesh is awesome and sets up an awesome event, and he does probably the best live streams that we've seen. He really knows how to set them up well. So it will be an awesome live stream. It's only $3 for the next couple days, and then I think it goes up to $5, which is like absolutely nothing to pay for even just for the single match between Matt and Jordan. But to see all three of those matches is going to be awesome. There's also a tournament.
Please support the event. Please support local arm wrestling events. Link down in the description to buy your pay-per-view.
Yep. And I think that's it.
So like the video, comment, subscribe, all those things.
And
peace out.
Peace.